Okay.
Showing you what's been admitted as for a while. I want to zoom in.
Uh,
Is that a
Okay.
tombstone?
it looked like it.
Okay. Are you able to see the name of the tombstone? The name on the tombstone?
It say Don. I don't know what the rest of it say, but Thomas Jr.
All right. And do you see the word SLAD graffitied over his tombstone?
Yes.
Viral news source.